Hello, class. So today we're going to be talking about proportional relationships. And we've talked about proportional relationships already in class. And we know that we can determine whether relationships are proportional if they have equal fractions. We could also use cross products because we know there's a cross product property that states the cross products of a proportion are equal. And so if they're equal, then we know they're proportional. And another way would be if we use graphs. So if we graph points or if we are looking at a graph, we can tell if something is proportional. So if we are going to look at the graph here, we have a set of data. Okay? If we are going to have proportional graphs, we need to look for two things. First, we need to have straight lines. So if a graph is proportional, it needs to be a straight line that goes through the origin. And remember, the origin is the 0, 0 point. Okay? It has to be straight because what has to happen if it's proportional, that means that the rate that something's changing is the same between the two variables. And then because it's the same rate, it also has to start at that origin or 0, 0. Okay? So when we look at this graph, we're determining if it's proportional by looking if it's straight line and if it goes through that origin or point 0, 0. So we have points here at this table. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 4, y is 6. And when x is 6, y is 8. Remember, to graph these on a coordinate pair, we always write our coordinate pairs in the x, y format. So we write each coordinate pair as an x, y, which means the coordinate pair for when x is 2 and y is 4 is going to be 2, 4. That's the coordinate pair we graph. The second point we would be graphing is 4, 6. And what would the third point be? Well, based off of this data, 6, 8. So those are the 3 points that we're going to graph. And when you're graphing on a graph, before you draw a straight line, a minimum of 3 points are good to graph before you actually draw a line. If you only have 2, there's a chance that your angle could be a little off. So 3 is a good amount. 3 or more points to graph a line would be acceptable. So to graph 2, 4, I'm going to go over 2 on the x-axis and up 4 on the y and put a point. To graph 4, 6, I'm going to go over 4 on the x and up 6 on the y. And then the third point, 6 over and 8 up and put a point. And then I'm going to grab a ruler or a straight edge, and this is really important, especially if it's questionable whether it's crossing through the origin. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines and extend it beyond just those lines because I want to create a graph. And I have arrows that are continuing to make the line extend below and above. And I look at this line, and I have to determine whether or not it's proportional. So I look at this, and yes, the line is straight between those 3 points. However, because it doesn't go through the origin, down here, it is not proportional. So to tell whether these are proportional, we're going to say no, because the line doesn't go through the origin. Which is 0, 0.